All right, so let's look at the questions then. We've got, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name again, is it? Douche.
They are brothers, also this university, so they don't need to write them again.
Oh, okay, so they had the same, right. Well, that'd be easy, so I just say vacate and not offend anybody. Okay, so we've got vision for vacate and douche, universal, possibly, and missions.
Donuts.
Okay. And we've got a mission statement, which is interesting. This to me reads like graduate attributes. I think these are the sort of people we're going to produce rather than a mission statement. And you guys have found visions for your faculty or for the university? What did you find?
For the university.
For the university.
It was raising well-educated world citizens.
Well-educated world citizens. Okay, is that the same as what you guys had over here? Yeah. Okay. So the vision is well-educated world global citizens, and then the missions are then on an individual faculty basis. Is that right? No. Do you have a mission for the university?
Yes, for the university.
Right, okay. And is it similar to what they've got over here? What have you got? So over here, the mission is educate individuals who are aware of the issues regarding the country and the world, recognise and appreciate differences, develop a point of view focusing solutions. Come up with innovative ideas and critical mind with an intellectual personality. Pioneers in the development of science, technology, art and culture in Turkey, and carry out projects beneficial to humanity. Is that similar to what you guys have got over there? I think these are kind of like graduate attributes rather than a university mission statement. But anyway, that's by the by. It's yours, so I'm not going to criticise it. Did anybody find a teaching and learning strategy for the university or for their college?
Mainly it's something like providing an environment, like, isn't it?
Did you find a document that describes it for the university?
No.
No. Did anybody else?
There is a statement in the website of the university which says that, according to the mission and vision of the university, we prefer to work with the academicians who are
Following the world.
who are eager to share what they know, what is their experience, and they love the students, and they show care for them, and they prefer such kind of academicians.
Okay.
It says, and one of the major things is, in fact, the major sentence, I think, is that they want to invest in the future by investing in the youth.
Right. Okay.
So it's the statement of the university.
Right. Okay.
So
But
underneath,
does it say how they're going to do that?
yeah, they say how they're going to do that. For example, help to develop critical minds.
Okay.
As it is stated here. Educating and training regarding the demands of the market, for example, is one of the major.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not quite sure if this is a mission or a learning strategy, but on the university website it says there's this distance learning unit.
Okay.
And on-site training for people who cannot come to the campus.
Okay.
So
So that's more like a strategy. Yes. Yes.
At douche, I mean, this teaching strategy, it's not written anywhere, but basically I mean, this is what the professors and faculty members talk about in the faculty boards and Senate meetings. It is student-centered, or it should be student-centered, research-centered, and it should encourage lifelong learning, and it should be depending on IT.
Right. Okay. Okay, that's great. So the reason why I'm asking you to look and find these documents and these visions and statements is when you're writing your fellowship application, it gives you something to hang them on. This is kind of why, you know, so we can have the philosophy and that kind of thing underpinning your fellowship writing, but you can also have the university strategy document. So again, it's giving weight to your application. You know, this is the university wants to have research-informed teaching, for example. It wants to have student-centered teaching. So if you can refer back to your strategy document or your mission or your vision, so, you know, Bay Kent University's mission is to do this, therefore this is how I am doing this in my classroom with my students. Okay, so it just builds that story. It gives some substantive weight to what you're trying to do. Okay, so it's important that you find those documents and use those to evidence your direction. Yeah, does that all make sense? Okay, so I would encourage you to find those documents. I mean, when I've done this class with other people, I've managed to find them myself on the university website. So I couldn't find them on any of your websites, but then it was only one level that was in English, so it was difficult to dive in and find the things. So you see past this board now, is that in your way? Okay, so once you've found those documents, when you're actually writing your fellowship, what the sort of questions that you need to prompt yourself to think about is how does your teaching map to a learning and teaching strategy? You know, you might not have a university one, your school might have one. If you ask your head of school or dean, they may have one that they've just never shared with you, which can often be the case. But you can think about how does your teaching map to that, okay? If you find graduate attributes, and as I say, I think those mission statements there are pretty much like graduate attributes. So how does your teaching help to develop students that have these qualities that are listed here? Okay? So how does your teaching support this? All right. Again, that should be threaded through your application. So yes, and how does your assessment strategy measure things like this? If this is the mission, this is the mission of your university, to have these global citizens, to have these innovative thinkers. What else have we got on there? Pioneers. How does your teaching develop those people, and how are you assessing to make sure that's what you're achieving? Okay. So there's no point in having this mission and this goal if you're all doing stuff and you don't know whether that's contribution to the goal, you're not measuring it.
Map to means how is it in line with?
Yeah. So if we had an example of the learning and teaching strategy, so it might be, developing, the strategy might be using IT to support learning, teaching and assessment. Okay, so you say, right, okay, I am using Kahoot in the classroom, I'm using the virtual learning environment to provide resources. So that's then mapping or aligning to that teaching strategy that says to use IT.
Okay, so I can say in my application that I did this in my class because, to my belief, the school's philosophy,
school strategy, yeah.
So that there's kind of an interpretation
yes.
as well.
Yes.
I read the school's philosophy.
Yeah.
I did an activity because I thought I might be wrong.
Yes.
I might have misinterpreted.
Well, the thing you read out there, which was part of the learning teaching strategy, which was you.
Am I overthinking?
No, yeah, you're okay. You don't have to say that. But when you read out the piece earlier, you said well, was this the strategy? Was to use information technology for learning, teaching, and assessment, or to develop effective learning. Okay. So if that is part of the strategy statement, you can then say, I am using Kahoot in the classroom to actively engage students and to develop their digital capabilities in line with the strategy. I'm providing resources and videos on the virtual learning environment. You know, so therefore I am using IT in line with the strategy. Yeah. So this is the idea, is that you've got something concrete to say why you're doing stuff. Okay. And you can sort of almost assume that if it's part of your university's learning and teaching strategy, there's evidence for that strategy being there, and so therefore you're following that. You don't have to have another set of evidence as well.
Okay, so we also consider that as an evidence.
Yes, or a rationale for doing stuff, because you can be allowed to assume that your university came up with that strategy based on evidence, so therefore you don't have to repeat the evidence. You're saying, well, I'm doing what the strategy is for my university. Yeah? I mean, the thing that I'm trying to kind of get across is that somewhere there has to be, you know, a foundation for what you're doing, whether it's your years of experience and your own evaluation, whether it's scholarship, pedagogic literature, whether it's taking part in courses delivered by teaching experts. No, don't say that. Just throw it out. Or it's part of a university strategy, and that strategy is based on evidence. Okay, but you've got to think about what these foundation stones are for your practice. Yeah, does that all make sense? Yeah. Okay, I think we're going to break early. Yes, there's no point starting this. So I've read through your notes here and your queries. I'm kind of going to have a bit of a rejig of the plan for this week, because I think, you know, some of you are kind of struggling with different ideas and different bits and pieces. I think Friday morning was going to be a writing workshop. Do you all have a piece of writing that you've already done for your fellowship? You know, something written. Does anybody not have anything? No, right. Put your hand up if you've got something written. A piece of text. That's about half of you. Do you think you could write 300 words by Friday?
300?
Yes. 300 words by Friday.
One page. Just one page.
Yeah. Even roughly, in bullet points. Does anybody feel they wouldn't have time to write 300 words by Friday to bring in? No? Okay, so what's stopping you writing 300 words by Friday?
We are staying in places. We are away from our home.
Okay. But you could, huh? Oh, okay, right, that's a big thing. You could write something by hand. Don't give me excuses, give me solutions. Okay, right. Well, we'll have a think about that. Right. We'll go for lunch early, and then if you can come back early as well, then so we can move on. Or if anybody wants to talk to me on a one-to-one basis over the next 15 minutes or so, then please do that.
So do we have to write 300 words or not?
I'll think about it over lunchtime. If a lot of you can't do it, Friday was supposed to be a writing workshop, but if you don't have laptops with you, then it's not going to be very easy to do that. I kind of wanted to use that for you to exchange feedback with each other. But I think what we'll do instead is the micro-teach. But you'll need access to IT to do that as well,
Maybe an outline. They can make an outline, just an outline instead of at 300.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just need to think about what's going to be the most effective way. Sure, if you write 300 words and I don't ask you to bring them in, you can always use them for your fellowship application. Okay, right, I'm going to sit here for 15 minutes, so if anybody wants to ask me one-to-one about their fellowship application, then please do, okay?